Okay, so yes, I'm home. I was supposed to be going to Applecross and then going across the Applecross Pass, but this happened.
Good evening. The strongest and most dangerous winds brought by Storm Floris are forecast to hit Scotland tonight, with an amber warning indicating potential danger to life in place until 10 p.m. Gusts up to and exceeding 100 miles per hour have already downed trees over power lines, railways and roads, knocking out power and disrupting travel.
Storm Floris is currently battering parts of the UK with high winds. You can hear the full force of it here. These pictures are from across Scotland, where there have been gusts of more than 100 miles an hour in some parts.
Definitely got about 100-mile-an-hour winds. It's crazy. So on the Sunday, there was notifications of Storm Floris coming in. They were saying that it was going to come in overnight and it was going to strike at sort of 3 a.m. And so I hunkered down, put the tent up, put all my baggage off the motorbike in the tent to try and weigh it down a little bit, just in case we got hit in the middle of the night. And we had a pretty awful night. Got up the following morning, raining hard, trying to make a decision as to what to do. And then the sun came out. So at 9 a.m., sun came out, beautiful day. Looked at the weather report. It said that there was going to be thunderstorms at 1 o'clock, and I was only 2.5 hours away from Applecross. So I thought, right, if I got on the bike, I can make it to Applecross before the storms happen at 1 o'clock, thinking that Storm Floris had already gone over. Anyway, long story short, it was beautiful sunshine for about an hour. Then it started raining. Then the wind picked up. And just when I was about half an hour away from Applecross, 107-mile-an-hour winds struck, which knocked motorhomes over on the road, knocked caravans over in the campsites. It was just unbelievable. And it got to the point where I thought, you know what, this is a little bit dangerous. And that point was when I came around a corner and the wind hit me so hard that the bike just stopped dead. And I couldn't move. I put it in first gear and the bike just wouldn't go forwards. So I was getting hit full frontal with 107-mile-an-hour winds, which I now know from the news reports that on that part of the road was 137-mile-an-hour winds. Anyway, long story short, I turned around, I went back. I didn't have a campsite to go to, so I thought, you know what, I'll find some shelter somewhere, put the tent up. But the winds were just so bad that I couldn't get off the bike and leave the bike on its footstand, because if you left it on its footstand, the wind would blow it over. So I couldn't actually get off the bike without the bike toppling. And so I went to a caravan site, thinking if I park my bike behind like toilets or something like that, then the wind can't hit it. And this very kind young man came over and said, look, we've got no space for you, but I might know somebody that's got a B&B just up the road. So he ran off, went to check, came back and said, yeah, she'll take you, but there's no power, there's no hot water, there's no showers. It's literally just a bed. So I was like, great, I can take it. Is there somewhere I can put my bike? She said, yeah, there's a garage. You can put your bike behind the garage. It'll be protected from the wind. So I rode the bike up to this B&B, parked my bike behind this garage. It was well protected. The lovely woman from the B&B had made up a room for me, was apologising for the fact that she didn't have any electricity and that there was no lights and no power and no heating, that she couldn't make me a cup of tea. And I stayed there overnight, and Scotland got battered, absolutely battered by the winds. Reports of people, coming off the road, say motorhomes flipping on the Applecross Pass. So I was lucky I decided against it and went and sort of hunkered down and found shelter. The following morning, the winds were still like 40, 50 miles an hour, sideways rain. Looked at the weather report. and the next 2 days was just going to be awful. So I bailed on the NC500. I had an hour and a half back to Inverness, so I jumped on the bike, did that, jumped in the car, and rather than stay overnight at Inverness, I thought, you know what, I'll just go home, because putting a tent up in the wind was no fun. So I jumped in the car, 12 hours south, stopped for something to eat halfway down, and I'm now at home. And my bike is still on the back of the car, and all my stuff is soaking wet. There comes a point on a motorbike where, you're wearing waterproofs, yes, but water gets in even when you're wearing waterproofs. And there comes a point where you're putting on a helmet that's wet inside, and you're putting on clothes like your jacket. You have to wear it because it's your armor. You're putting on your jacket that's damp and heavy, and you can't see the dashboard because it's covered in rain, and it's no fun anymore. And so I bailed. But I had a wonderful 3 or 4 days in Scotland. I saw the beauty of the NC500, but it just wasn't worth sticking around and driving around in the rain and not enjoying it anymore. So I've come home early. So I'm going to unpack, get everything sorted, get everything dried, and call it a day on this trip. But it was wonderful. I enjoyed it. Scotland is a beautiful place. If you get a chance to do the NC500, go for it. Grab it with both hands. But yeah, the weather in Scotland can be unforgiving. Agreed. It was a named storm that came in, and I was in the eye of it on the west coast. But yeah, just be careful of the weather, because it is unforgiving, and there's not many places to hunker down there, because places very quickly book up when there's a storm coming. So that's it for this series, and I hope to see you in the next one.